Sometimes people don't know what's going on in their house, and that can be scary. Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. I'm your host Emily, who's struggling with allergies right now, so let's hope my voice can keep up with telling you these spooky stories. With that in mind, here's our list of the top 10 scary attic discoveries that will horrify you. Number 10. Stalker Shrine. A group of housemates made a strange and unnerving discovery when they decided to venture into the attic of their rented home. They found what appears to be the shrine of a stalker, complete with discarded clothes, faded photographs on the walls, and sealed bags containing unused plasters, cigarette ends, and what seems to be human hair. Honestly, if it wasn't there for all of us to see, you'd have to believe it was made up for a horror film, said Matt Martin, whose girlfriend is one of the renters. He added, the film photos on the wall appear to be from the 1990s at some point and show a football player and another bloke. There were also some mystery liquids in bags attached to the wall, but it's not even worth finding out what they were. The group informed the estate agents, who in turn told the landlord. Apparently, the landlord was warned by builders who renovated the house that there was something strange up there, but they must have never been up to check. The group also contacted the police about what they discovered. They added, "We called the hotline and they pretty much just said if there's no body parts, don't worry about it." But no offense, I would be worried about it. That is completely unnerving. Number 9. A mummy. A young boy from Germany played in his grandparents' attic when he discovered a set of suspicious looking boxes. When the boy inquired about the boxes, neither his father nor grandma knew what they contained. They opened them, and in the largest box contained a real mummy. The mummy, carefully packed in a wooden crate, was placed inside a sarcophagus complete with hieroglyphic adornments. The family later discovered that the item belonged to their grandfather, who had traveled to North Africa when relics from ancient Egypt were in demand. Curious to discover if the mummy was real, the young boy's father took the object to Berlin to show expert archaeologists. Now, I feel like that's just kind of gross, knowing that you've been living with essentially a dead body. Ugh. And if the movies are anything to go by, that family should have kept the mummy inside the coffin to avoid a huge curse. Number 8. Ghost footprints. A Reddit user wrote about their creepy experience by saying, "When we first moved into my house, the house I currently reside in 20 years ago, I wandered up to the attic to stack some boxes. Most of the attic is covered in that white powdery stuff that you're not supposed to walk on, or else you might fall through the floor. The old owners put wooden planks over the beams on half of the attic so we could walk there and stack storage and everything. The creepy thing is, there were several large footprints in the powder. When I showed my dad, he was just as baffled as I was, because again, if anyone stepped there, they would have fallen right through. And the footprints were between the beams, as if whoever was there stepped over the beams, which would have been the only stable parts to walk on. The footprints are still there 20 years later, and it still weirds me out. It would weird me out too, and I think they have a giant ghost living in that attic." Number 7. A strange collection. Being at your grandparents' house can be fun, until it isn't. This user said, "My grandparents' house is over 150 years old and used to be a post office. I wanted to go up there my whole life, and when I finally did, I found a suitcase full of hair, an old piece of a clock, some 1920s underwear and clothing, and a couple of old trunks, mostly empty, but a couple of pictures and one with hair. My papa used to say if I went upstairs or heard a creak in the house, that an old bald-headed woman was sitting up there in her rocking chair waiting to get me. Really creeped me out as a kid, still won't go up there at night alone, and let me just say, they're braver than me because I just wouldn't go up there in general." Number 6. A python. If you're afraid of snakes, then this is your worst nightmare. When an Idaho family moved into their new house, they were shocked when an installation crew discovered a 3-foot-long African ball python. So what's so scary about the snake? In Idaho and even the larger United States, pythons are extremely rare. People import exotics into the country through special rights, but the good thing was that because of the attic's dry heat, the snake was dead and well preserved for about 2 years. With the deadly snake no longer a threat to the family, they inquired to whether the previous owner owned it as a pet. To their amazement, no one had any idea how the python could have ended up in the house. And all I can say is, thank God it wasn't alive. Number 5. Henry VI's head. Yep, just his whole head, chilling in someone's attic. Let me explain the events that led to this. King Henry VI ruled France in 1589. One of his most notable achievements was ending the war between Catholic and Protestant citizens. By royal decree, Henry VI introduced a policy of religious tolerance, bringing peace and earning the title of Le Bon Roi, or the Good King. But in 1610, Henry VI was assassinated because of his beliefs. When the monarch fell and the French Revolution took over, the remains of monarchs were destroyed. But as fate would have it, Henry VI's head survived. In 1919, a photographer purchased the royal's head from an auction, and in 1955, Jacques Bellinaire, a tax collector, became the new owner. In 2010, the same royal head surfaced again after it was discovered preserved in an attic. With the aid of computers and forensics, Philippe Charrier, an anthropologist and medical doctor, proved that the head belonged to Henry VI. Number 4. Baby carriages. What happens to baby carriages after kids grow up? You can put them in storage or sell them. Not, I don't know, put dead animals in them. Well, that's what these people did. You heard that right. A team of investigators stumbled upon a collection of vintage baby carriages with some appalling occupants. Each carriage had a well-preserved small animal corpse swaddled perfectly and placed within the compartment. The spooky discovery at a 200-year-old farmhouse in Ossing, New York was shocking to say the least. They found a total of 10 animals, including dogs, cats, raccoons, and squirrels. The careful planning and detail suggests that the creative or sick mind that conjured the idea designed the scene intentionally. Vintage houses are known to harbor some strange things, but this discovery takes it to a whole new level. Personally, if I came across this in my attic, I think I would cry. Number 3. The photo. One woman has been searching for answers after discovering a creepy picture hidden underneath a box in her attic. She explained how she was clearing out the family's vacation home when she came across a scratched up Polaroid with the words, "Do you see him?" written on it. Creeped out by her discovery, she has taken to Reddit to see whether anyone can make out a figure in the image. She said, "I found it while cleaning out my family vacation home. I tried cleaning the picture as much as I could, but it's really scratched up. I can't really even see anything, just an outline of a house, and I don't see an outline of a person. I will try to look for more." She went on to explain how a couple lived in the house before her family bought it as their vacation home. But her dad tasked her with cleaning it out so they could put it on the market to sell. While most users urged her to stop looking for him and get out of there, others tried to invert the photograph to see whether they could see a man hiding in the image. Number 2. The message. A man claims to have made a disturbing discovery in the attic space of his girlfriend's house, and it's terrifying. In a post shared to Reddit, a man shared a picture of what he unearthed while exploring his partner's attic. Hidden in the back beyond the beams, plaster, and gathering cobwebs, he found a simple yet terrifying message scratched into the back wall. The discovery of a pentagram's 5-pointed star associated with the worship of Satan alongside the name Nick. Now, the discovery might have been okay were it not for the fact that, according to the man sharing the image, his name just so happens to be Nick. One commenter wrote, "As a fellow Nick, I'd say get the F out of there, run brother run." But another user noted that the use of the name Nick may have more serious connotations. Old Nick is another name for the devil, they wrote. And they're right. The Collins Dictionary confirms Old Nick as a jocular name for Satan. Other people are suggesting that the man's girlfriend likely carved it in herself and is just lying to him. However, some wondered if they were being a bit too quick to dismiss it. You know, in horror movies when nobody believes the guy trying to warn everyone, we are totally them, someone commented. I'm sorry, but what are the chances that it was his exact name? That is some creepy stuff, let me tell you. And coming in at number 1 is the X. Okay, so you've heard of random people living in others' attics, but what if you found out your ex was living there? Well, that actually happened to one Pittsburgh woman. The single mother of 5 discovered her ex of 12 years living in her attic. A few weeks before the discovery, the woman noticed things going awry in her house, but she couldn't explain the changes. On the weirdest days, she would find a blanket in the basement or a toilet seat left up, and even hear some unusual noises around the house. Then, one Saturday morning, she heard a noise coming from her bedroom. When she went to look, she found her ex standing there. Her ex allegedly grabbed her and put a hand over her mouth. She managed to push him away and ran outside screaming, prompting several neighbors to call 911. It said that the woman had obtained a restraining order against the man, barring him from having any contact contact with his ex or her children. Speaking with WPXI News, the woman said she had a weird feeling that someone had been in her home. She said, "I had an intuition about it, but I ignored it. I brushed it aside. I didn't want to seem paranoid, but I should have trusted my instincts because I was right." Once police arrived, officers searched the house and found her ex hiding under some clothes on the second floor. According to the Post-Gazette, the suspect told officers he had been staying in the home for about 2 weeks without the woman knowing, gaining access through an unlocked side door. He said he was coming and going from the house because he was tired of being homeless. Now that is truly terrifying, and now I never want to date anyone ever again. Well, that's all for our list of the top 10 scary attic discoveries that will horrify you. Remind me to never go into an attic alone. If I have to discover something scary, someone else has to share that trauma with me. Well, which one on our list freaks you out the most? Let us know in the comments down below, and hey, why not like and subscribe while you're down there. I'm your host Emily, and we'll see you next time. Peace.